What is up, guys? Your boy PJ Sue here, back with another vid. I'm writing this script about an hour after the Warriors won Game 5 versus the Mavs. Now they're now headed to their 6th finals in 8 years. A fun fact, this is Klay's 6th straight finals appearance since he missed those 2 years for injury. Luka's definitely up next, but this is not his time just yet. What a great run he had. Now for the reason you clicked on the video. I'm going to do a finals review of the Warriors and the Celtics. As the time this is being written, the series is now 3-2 with the Heat and the Celtics, but without the Heat looked in Game 5, I'm confident the Celtics will have this series in 6 or 7. For my series previews, I break it down to 3 categories. The first is the starting lineup of each team. These lineups will be taken from the last starting lineup played of each team. That is Game 5 of the Heat versus Celtics and Game 5 of the Warriors versus Mavericks. Second thing I look at is the bench of each team, and their second unit. Lastly, I discuss general team strengths and extra thoughts I have about this series, along with the prediction. Before I get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you like the content. Now let's get into it. Starting at guard for the Golden State Warriors, we have the first ever Western Conference Finals MVP winner, Wardell Stephen Curry II. At point guard for the Boston Celtics, we have the 2021-2022 Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. Shooting, finishing, scoring, playmaking, rebounding, and handles all go to Steph Curry. Smart is a better help and on-ball defender while not being an offensive liability like he has been in times before. Despite Smart being a better defender, Curry has played great defense this playoff run. He has been to 9 switches and playing good help as well. Smart is averaging 15 points, 4 boards, 6.5 assists, and a steal a game on 41, 36, 80 shooting splits. Smart is an elite level role player and is key to the Celtics' elite defense. This is shown by their performance with him missing time early on in the series. The thing is, no matter how elite of a role player he is, he's just that, a role player. Which is still really impressive. I'll never even make as close to the amount of money he's made in the NBA, but in comparison to Steph Curry, a role player is really nothing. During this playoff run, Steph has averaged 26 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and a steal a game on 45, 38, 82 shooting splits. Steph has been on tear this postseason en route to his 4th ring and his first ever Finals MVP. Smart's main job is probably going to be attempting to slow down Curry this series. His level of success on Curry will be one of the main determining factors of this series. During this playoff run, Smart has given Butler, Kyrie, and Jrue Holiday some issues defensively, but they are not the on or off ball player Steph Curry is. With that being said, this gives the Warriors a 1-0 advantage so far in the starting lineup. The starting shooting guard for the Boston Celtics is Jaylen Brown, and for the Golden State Warriors is Klay Thompson. Shooting goes to Klay, while finishing goes to Brown. I say Brown's the better overall scorer though. Klay, astonishingly, is the better playmaker while Brown's the better ball handler. Klay is in no way a good playmaker, but Brown is so bad at it that he makes Klay look good. Brown's the better rebounder by far, and is a better all-ball defender than Klay, but I give off-ball defense to Klay Thompson. Klay used to be an elite all-ball defender, but after coming back from his 2 injuries, he hasn't been the same at it. During this playoff run, Klay has averaged 20 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and a steal a game on 45, 40, 80 splits, which is incredible. He has also played average to above average defense while doing this. Brown has averaged 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists, a steal a game on 48, 40, 74 splits, which is also really good. Brown's also been playing great defense while doing this. Klay can have games where he looks horrible, then he have games where he looks like God. Especially in the last 2 closeout games where he had 30 points in each game, and his infamous Game 6 Klay title. Brown has had a similar trajectory, so that doesn't mean too much. The defense they play on each other will be important this series. Neutralizing the other team's 20-point per game score is a big win. While Klay has been great in his return, I will still give the edge to Brown right now. Brown's ability to ISO and get a bucket along with his elite slashing ability is hard to deny. This gives the Celtics their first win and ties it 1-1. The starting Warriors small forward is the former #1 overall pick, Andrew Wiggins. The starting small forward for the Boston Celtics is rising superstar, Jason Tatum. While Wiggins is the statistically better shooter, if you take into consideration difficulty and volume, you have to give it to Tatum. Finishing goes to Tatum, although it's important to mention how good of a cutter and play finisher Wiggins is. Wiggins is also the better rebounder of the two, but Tatum is slacking on that end. Overall scoring goes to Tatum, but I think that's pretty obvious. Playmaking and balling will also go to Tatum pretty easily. Tatum took a huge leap in his playmaking this season and another leap in the playoffs. Wiggins can sometimes miss an open guy or have tunnel vision when he's going to the paint, but it's not as big of a problem as it was when he played for Minnesota. I think they're both excellent defenders, so this is a tough one. Last test says they're about similar levels, so I have to look up a defensive stats to see who's the better one. Wiggins has a defensive rating of 112.4 and Tatum has a defensive rating of 106.4. This means that statistically, Tatum is the better defender of the two. On this playoff run, Tatum has averaged 27 points, 6.5 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal a game on 44, 36, 82 splits while playing elite level defense, especially on Kevin Durant. Wiggins has averaged 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and almost a steal in the block a game on 48, 35, 64 splits. As I mentioned earlier, Smart's defensive job on Curry is one of the factors that will determine this series. Similarly, Wiggins' job on Tatum is the factor that will heavily influence the outcome of this series. With all that being said, let's give the Celtics a 2-1 advantage in the starting 5 as we head to this power forward position. The starting power forward for the Boston Celtics is Al Horford, and for the Warriors, it is former Defensive Player of the Year, Draymond Green. Al's the better shooter, finisher, and all-around scorer. That's never been what Draymond does, so that's okay. Draymond's a better playmaker, ball handler, and defender, on the other hand. He's like the two-way playmaker with the elite handles. Horford is the better rebounder, although Draymond has big rebounding games this season. During this playoff run, Draymond has averaged 9 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and a block a game on 54, 26, 66 splits. On the same run, Horford has averaged 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and almost 2 blocks and a steal per game. Although the stats heavily favor Horford, a lot of Draymond's skill set does not show up in the stat sheet. The off-ball screens he sets for Clay, Steph, and Poole to get that 3. He'll clear directing traffic on offense and defense while getting the hockey assists a lot of the time. However, the question I'm trying to answer is who's been better between the two. It's really tough for a few reasons. If you put Draymond on the Rockets and Horford on the Magic, Horford clearly looked like the better player. So much of Draymond's game is predicated on playing with the Warriors system. The thing is, I have to judge him on how he plays with the Warriors versus playing on another team. With that clarification out of the way, I would say Draymond's more impactful to his team than Horford is to his, so I'll give Draymond the edge over Horford. I think it's an even better way to explain this. Draymond is a ceiling raiser type of player. His impact is best felt on a team that's already good. He's the ultimate glue guy. This ties it back up to 2-2 heading towards the center position. The starting center for the Warriors is Hakeem Olajuwon. That's right, Kevon Looney. For the Celtics, we have the Time Lord himself, Robert Williams III. Robert is a slightly better scorer and finisher due to the fact that he has more of a lob threat. They average about the same amount of points, but him being a lob threat out of the pick and roll is a huge asset for centers. Neither can shoot, so it isn't a factor whatsoever. Looney is the better rebounder, and that was shown in the last 2 series where he has been killing it on the offensive glass. Looney is the far better playmaker. His passes from the mid-post are really good, and just being part of the Warriors system is a huge reason for that. Neither can really dribble, so that's another one that really doesn't matter. As far as defense goes, I give it to Williams. He's a better help defender and better on one-on-one. Looney is a really good defender as well, but however, Williams is a lead on defense. This postseason, Williams has averaged 8 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks a game on 65-89 splits. Looney has averaged 6 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists a game on 66-56 splits. Looney has been amazing this postseason. Big performances in the last 2 closeout games. It's hard to say that he's better than Williams. If you're making a team, you pick him every time. With that being said, this ends the starting lineup comparisons and gives the Celtics a 3-2 advantage to end it. For the bench depth of each team, starting off with the Celtics, they have Grant Williams, who can really get hot from 3 a lot. We saw that in Game 7 versus the Bucks, but in this Heat series so far, he hasn't been the same offensively. He hasn't had that spark. So it depends on what Grant we get to determine what his impact on the series is going to be. Although he always played good defense and gives me some hustle plays. Derek White, since the birth of his son, has been great on offense. He's always been a good playmaker, slasher, or above average playmaker and slasher, and a great defender. Peyton Pritchard can give you some offense off the bench. He can shoot really well. He showed that early on against the Heat series. Now for the Warriors' second unit. Jordan Poole is basically a starter level player. He's going to be getting a huge contract this offseason. He's been playing amazing for the Warriors. Nemanja Bjelica. He didn't play too much in the Mavs series, but he did play in the closeout game. He played some great minutes. He also played in Game 4, and the closeout minutes are like garbage time, and he showed why he deserved to play more in the series. Moses Moody has been great in the Damian Lee minutes, because Damian Lee was not playing good for the Warriors, so they inserted Moses Moody there, where Moody has excelled, and he had 7 points in the last game in a big stretch. Otto Porter didn't play in the closeout game, but he's going to be back for the finals, and that's huge for their wing depth, along with Gary Payton II, who's also been great on defense, one of the best perimeter defense I've ever seen, and he's probably going to be back for the finals, so that's huge. And Andre Iguodala, although he's not going to play too many minutes, his leadership, his experience, and his defense is going to be really important for wherever they play in the finals. Well, I think it's the Celtics, but as recording this video, at least on this part, the Heat just forced Game 7, so I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this video doesn't need to come out in the first place, but even if they lose, I'm going to post this just in case, not remake the Heat video. But that's it for this video, guys. Oh, my bad. Predictions. I feel as if, though, the Warriors play the Celtics, it's Warriors in 6, and they play the Heat, it's Warriors in 5. But that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Can you leave a like, subscribe to like the content, and put some more video suggestions in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching and have a good one.